Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We count down.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Now again, welcome everyone. We are live on our Facebook page, which is the Locker Room, and it's also live on No Jazz Show page, where you can find that link. Also live on Riverside FM. Also live on Twitch. For anybody in the chat that wants to do that, and live on we haven't gone live on TikTok just yet, but we will be doing it. We got some things we need to go through before we get to that. Nevertheless, welcome everyone to the No Jazz Show. That's NOJASSSHOW, which stands for Not Just Another Sports Show, as you all know, if you all have been tuning in and joining us for the past year. Coming up on a year and a half, because we are past mid-season of the NFL season. We just want to welcome everyone. I am your host, KD. And of course, to my right, I don't know what type of screen you're watching because it might be to your left. My main man, always a pleasure to have him. Always in tune, always up to date on all the latest sports, events, entertainment, everything. My main man, Tank. Tank, tell
What's up,
everyone hello.
peoples? What's
What's
up,
up?
peoples? What's up?
What's up, people? Rocking and rolling, rocking and rolling. And before we actually get into anything, we just want to make sure we give our sponsors their credit and their just due, because this show is indeed sponsored by Light Snack. For all of your food delivery needs, whether it be breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you can find those orders on LYTESNACK snack lightsnack.com. And if you order on Light Snack, make sure you order those Magic City wings and get all of that great food that they have: fries, wings, nuggets. Do they still have nuggets? Nuggets and all those
Uh,
things. And
they
don't forget,
they
go
might
ahead.
call them boneless wings now, but we
Boneless,
know
but
that.
they might be
But we
boneless.
know we yeah, but we know that ain't nothing but a nugget.
That ain't nothing but a nugget. And don't forget their motto, please. Don't forget to lick the sauce. And also for all your lingerie needs, nightwear, anything for the ladies, man. If you want to buy something, Black Friday is coming up. You can order that on QUIKVISITS quickvisits.com. I believe I get all this spelling from when I did. I remember several years ago, not that many years ago, but when I was in the third grade, I had to do 30 days. Well, actually 28 days, because everyone knows that Black History
Mhm.
Month
Yeah.
is the month that they chose for Black History, and I had to do Black History for a whole month in the third grade. So I believe that's where I got my first uh endeavors, I should say, into the broadcast media platform. Shout out to my third grade teacher, Miss Green. I love you, lady. Still do. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to talk about the old school. Go ahead, go ahead, go
Question
ahead, Tank.
question for you. Can you remember every, let's say, homeroom teacher that you had, every teacher that you had from grades 1 through 12
All right,
by
let's try.
name? By name, do you remember them?
Well, in high school, well, when you
Well,
got
your
to around
homeroom. Just say homeroom teacher.
okay, okay. Woo wee. Um, Miss Sanderson, first grade. Oh my goodness. Who was second grade? I know Miss Green was third grade. Miss Sanderson, first grade. I gotta go back. I gotta go back. Miss Brock probably was fourth grade. We had a 3-class thing in the fifth grade. I know where I went to elementary school. That was Cork Elementary. Um, fifth grade, man. My goodness. Oh man. Um, that's a tough one there. Sixth grade. I know there was Miss Longfellow, Miss McBee, and I think Livesey might have been her name. Miss Livesey might have been her name for the sixth grade. Seventh grade, tough, boy. Help me out, Chad. Anybody that went to school with me, help me out. Seventh grade was tough. Eighth grade, woo, I had a slew of teachers then. Let me see, who was my homeroom teacher? Might have been Miss Devane. Might have been Miss Devane in the 8th grade. Ninth grade. Wow, I see the faces. Who was my second grade teacher, man? I hope my mama watching. She gonna be like, boy, you trip, man. You go ahead while I think. Who can you remember, Tank? Who can you remember?
Let's see. I remember Miss Elsner in the 1st grade. Miss Elsner. Then 2nd grade was Miss Rankin. 3rd grade was Miss Addison. 4th grade was Miss Bates. Boy, I loved me some Miss Bates. She had the curly blonde, brownish afro with the green eye. Boy, my mama had to come up there one day just for a regular meeting, and she just had to tell her, say, I'm glad to meet you because my son come home every day and talk about how pretty you are.
Awesome. Everybody had one. Everybody had
one. Yeah. 5th grade, I went to 2 schools. So first it was Miss Mostella, and then it was Miss Snelling. 6th grade, Mr. Mr. Jones. He used to make us write sentences when we cut up, and it would be, I will not do whatever. You know how you do that 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
So we were pre-write. We were ones of us or them. Yeah, let's say them who would get in trouble would already have it written out. I will not 50 times in groups of 50. So depending on how many sentences he gave you, you already had everything written out a week ahead. And you just fill in the verb, talk, run, fight, or whatever. So 7th grade was Mr. Winters. That man was sadistic. He kept every detention slip that he'd given out since he'd been teaching, and he had it in his drawer. I got a couple of those myself. Remember, 8th grade, Mr. Fuel. He busted me and some friends when we were gambling. Well, they called it gambling. We were betting on football games, and we bet 25. We bet 25 cents, and I had the sheet written down who was doing it or whatnot. It wasn't anything big, but somebody told on us, and next thing you know, me and my homeboy, one of us, we were suspended. We had in-house suspension for a few days. The rest of the guys didn't get in trouble because, hey, like Eric Dickinson, I kept my mouth closed and didn't snitch.
Right.
9th grade.
And the Fab Five.
Yeah, 9th grade, I can't remember. Man, it does get fuzzy after in high school. I think I had
Mr. Girls a little bit too much.
Yeah, I can't remember. I remember teachers, but I can't remember who the homeroom teachers were. But wait, nonetheless, we get on with the show. But
yeah. Because since you brought up the teachers, at 7th grade, you started getting them deans, and then, like, I remember Coach Brown, and I remember Miss Stokes. Man, yeah, we might need to get on with the show. Shout out to my 2nd grade teacher. I know you taught me well because I did make it to the 3rd grade. But if you all have been hiding under a rock, I know a lot of you all are upset. I know a lot of you all are happy. But if you watched the politics of college football, they just introduced the top 25 as they would be in the CFP playoffs and rankings, and they have I'll say the 1 seed is Ohio State, and it's 2 seed right now projected, I should say. The 2 seed is Indiana, 3rd seed being Texas A&M, 4th seed being Georgia. So what do you see? 2 Big Tens, 2 SECs.
Yeah,
top seed.
It just doesn't sound right hearing Indiana mentioning that, like,
and it's not basketball
all these years. Yeah,
and it's not basketball, right?
Yeah.
And then we go on to The 5th seed, which is Texas Tech.
You mean Texas
The
A&M? Texas, yeah. Fifth
Texas Tech.
seed, yeah.
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech, yeah.
We have the
That don't
7th
sound
seed.
right.
That Oregon don't sound well. Oregon in the 7th seed.
Yeah.
No. 6th seed, Ole Miss. Then Oregon at the
Yeah.
7th seed.
Yeah. Then Oregon.
Oklahoma sneaks in there. Well, they get in there at the 8th seed due to that win over Alabama. Then you go 9th seed Notre Dame. This is funny to me. 10th seed Alabama. That's funny to me too. 11th seed on the bubble, just in case. This is tentative. Them winning the ACC. They have Miami, but they don't believe Miami. If they don't win the ACC and they don't suffer another loss per se, they should not be out of the top 25. Do the head-to-head competition. We can get into that between teams that they face, similar teams they face with Notre Dame, and actually beat Notre Dame head-to-head. And rounding out 12 is Tulane. I don't even know what conference that is, but they also have them on the bubble, meaning they need to win the conference in order to get that. And then they just have some CFP rankings, some high people, BYU, Utah.
Yeah.
Who else we haven't we named? And
BYU,
that is
Utah.
that's
Yeah.
12.
Those
That's
are
12.
12.
Hold on, talk to the people right quick, Tank.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be interesting seeing how this thing pans out. I think we got some matchups that could come about between two lesser teams that are going to, kind of cancel each other out. I think Ohio State is probably going to wind up being victorious through the whole thing. But some of these things, but some of these things like Tulane or Utah, if they do it, BYU, I don't see them going too far because it's usually the lower seed with the top seed. I don't see anybody knocking Ohio State. I think Georgia's going to be in there. It's going to make the Final Four, provided they stay healthy. Georgia is stubborn as hell. I mean, you thought that they'd fallen off some this year, and every game is they either blowing people out early, or they just start getting their machine going and grinding. And the next thing you know, in the fourth quarter, but they're up by 20 points. I mean, Kirby has put together a machine up in Athens.
I will give him credit on that.
Yeah.
I will give him credit on that.
Yeah.
I think he's the top,
he has done
top coach in the SEC now.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's reached a point. Yeah, because of those national championships and everything, I think he's reached he's able to do now what Nick Saban was able to do and what Urban Meyer was able to do. That's walk into any room, any living room, anywhere in the country, show rings and say, "Do you want one?"
Even with NIL.
Yeah, I think with the NIL, because Georgia does have a pipeline to the NFL, and they can say,
"Don't worry about Ohio State in that statement."
Yeah, them also. But as far as talking about Kirby and talking about what I think he's done that, and I don't think right now Georgia is the crown prince in the SEC right now. I mean, Bama still has their luster, but it's not the way that it used to be because they're under new management.
Right.
But I mean, he's got a whip together. Whatever they need. I mean, they lost Carson Beck after last season, and they don't look like they've skipped a beat at quarterback. They get it done, and they got a stable of running backs.
I don't want to get in. I don't want to get into Mr. Beck.
Yeah, but they've
all the time Beck.
Yeah, but he's put together a program that now doesn't rebuild; they just reload. And the same, you mentioned Ohio State. Ohio State's in the same boat. They become wide receiver U.
Ooh.
They become wide receiver U lately. I mean,
Ooh.
everywhere you go, there's an Ohio State wide receiver doing damage on his team. I mean, I think they've overtaken LSU as far as wide receiver U.
I got a question, and then we're gonna get into based upon what you said. Do you count it as wide receiver U based upon what you did at the university, or what you do on the next level?
I'm saying what you do on the next level. I mean, they got guys who are putting in work in college, but in the NFL, they've gotten there and they're putting up work. Jigba is putting up work. McLaurin before this year was putting up work. I mean, you can just go down the list and they're peppered all over the league. I mean, it's like
Wilson,
okay, yeah, they're all over the damn place.
You got Junior.
Yeah, he if he ever gets a quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have Ohio State, LSU, Alabama, or Ohio State, Alabama, LSU. And
I got Ohio State, Bama, and then LSU is in
Ohio State, Bama, LSU.
Yeah, I don't think LSU is going too far in the playoffs. So.
No, I mean like wide receivers.
Wide receivers, yeah. Bama has put some in the league too, and they were doing damage in college too.
Bama
put some
damage.
Yeah,
you know, Ohio State has the how I want to say, they have the guys that put together campaigns when they get to the NFL in that short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of it doesn't lead Hall of Fame worthy. Then you have LSU and Alabama who has those guys that are like as a collective, I would say Ohio State. But when you go individual, Alabama and LSU has a gap in between them. You know, shout out to Egbuka, you know, what he's done so far, you know. But it's like 5 years in.
Yeah, Ohio State has they have SEC caliber receivers.
They do
playing up there. I was like, wait a minute, how are these guys not in the SEC? How are they not in the ACC?
Yeah, boy,
because they got big, strong, fast guys. Yeah,
that come back down to, if I show you a pipeline to the NFL in these rings, you come up to Ohio and you can make it happen. Now, as far as the competition is concerned, do you think this expanded field is now just giving us more football, or does it give us a level of competition in the brackets that will have us as fans really see some good football as each team, you know, faces one another? You know, do you think that expanded field has made the competition better, or it's kind of made the competition worse?
I think it's gonna I think as of now, I think it's giving us more football, but I think at the same time we're gonna see the cream of the crop just beat up on these lower level teams who are just getting in, the teams that you normally wouldn't see them in the top 8 or the top 4 in the previous formats. Because I mean, how much damage do you really, even Texas Tech, as high as they are, how much damage do you really expect Texas Tech to do? How much damage do you expect Notre Dame to do once the lights are on? Because they tend to, when they play top flight competition, they're just out athleted.
Yeah.
I mean, they are. Yeah. They can't run with these other teams, and their offense still seems rudimentary compared to what everybody else is doing. Not saying they need to go.
Hold on. Y'all know how we do this on No Jazz if you haven't been watching. Shout out to rudimentary. You just went over a lot of people's heads. We tend to come up with a vocabulary word every show. Rudimentary. Whoa! I don't think I've ever heard the word rudimentary mentioned.
Well,
in football.
I dig into my bag every now and then.
You dug it. Hey, what was that? What was that third grade teacher name?
Miss Addison.
Miss Addison. Miss Addison. You came through. You came through. Anyway, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and I don't think Oklahoma's gonna do anything.
Oh man.
They're just there, and it's okay. Traditionally, it's nice to see them there, but when the lights come on brightest, they aren't going to do anything. Their defense is not going to stand up to their defense couldn't even stop their offense.
Right.
So when they come up against if they have to play an Ohio State or who's Ohio State or even Indiana, it's possible, or especially Georgia, they're not going to. It's not going to work.
You're going to see the gap.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to see the gap. It really comes down to, for college football, for me, man, it's quarterback play. That consistent quarterback play takes teams a long way, and it keeps the game competitive. If you don't have good quarterback play, okay, who has the best quarterback in the field?
Man, I gotta clutch. I don't know, because I'm gonna go with who's been most clutch. I gotta say Georgia's quarterback been most clutch. I mean, they can be down by 10 with 5 minutes left, and
he keeps you in the game.
They're gonna probably win. They aren't behind the sticks with him under center. He doesn't have to do miraculous things because he doesn't put them in a position where they need. Okay, man, we need you to dig deep and get us out of this. And if you got a quarterback who delivers and who can keep you out of trouble and keep you from being behind the sticks, you got a legitimate shot at winning each and every game that you play. And I'm not a Georgia fan at all, but I will acknowledge and respect what they do. And when they get their running game going, it's a stampede. They run. I like one feature back. That's just me. They've got 3 guys that could be feature backs if they were somewhere else.
So Georgia is still running back you.
No.
Who you have?
Running back you.
And I know you looking. I know you looking historically.
No, historically, but as far as now, and even I still have to say it's Bama. I still have to say it's Bama as far as running back you, as far as putting backs in the league who are productive, who are doing things. Because the Georgia backs haven't done it yet.
Right.
Who's the last Georgia back in the NFL that really did something? Wait a minute, hold on. I don't want to say Gurley. It was somebody recently. There's somebody else. Because I'm going to miss somebody. Somebody's going to. What about so and so? And I can't remember who it is right now. But there's one. But Bama just has a litany of backs that have come through, and they keep it, and they keep on coming.
Right. They do keep on coming. I mean, and not to the level.
Yeah.
I mean, Georgia doesn't have it to the level of Alabama.
Yeah. Now some of these guys that Georgia has, especially the big number 33, he might get to the NFL and wreck shop because that's a horse. I can't remember his name now, but he's the one whenever it's 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2. Yeah, whenever it's 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2, and they don't go to him, everybody's saying, "Why didn't you give it to him?" Because he makes things happen.
One thing I will say though, from a Georgia running back standpoint, transitioning over to the NFL, they don't use the guys up as much as they used to in the past, which might help them have better opportunities in the league to transition into the league better and progress into better professionals. Because a lot of those guys, their best years, from a Georgia standpoint, UGA, they get used up at Georgia. They get those injuries at Georgia, and then they make it to the league, and it's that wear and tear. Gets them in, gets them out.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that also the wear and tear, and a lot of it is injuries they're playing through.
Remember Sony
And I think,
Michel?
yeah, Sony. I tell you somebody else who was like that, but he played through. He came, Ty Gurley. He came into the league with arthritic knees, and people like to say he just fell off. No, his knees were already bad, and it was one of those things where his knees could last till he's in his 30s, or they could go out in the next 4 years. And unfortunate for him, they went out. They went out early.
Window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that hurts him. Yeah. He was definitely gonna get some Hall of Fame run if he continued on the pace he was going on. He was one of those legitimate backs that I said, okay, he's legit and not only as a runner, but he can do everything. And they were feeding him the ball.
Wow. So that's that. Well, now moving right along, Saturday to Sunday. Let's go with Sunday's top news. And they're calling it $507,000 worth of spit. Shout out to the chat, letting us know, what that game check that Chase is forfeiting. Because if you have been under a rock, we are speaking of Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver Ja'Marr Chase in that AFC North battle with Pittsburgh. He allegedly.
It ain't allegedly. We got 4K. We got 4K film.
4K camera, right? He allegedly spit on Jalen Ramsey, and Jalen Ramsey then retaliated, as only Jalen Ramsey does. And in an interview, Ja'Marr Chase then said he didn't open his mouth to spit. Because there was some talking going on. Mm-hmm. There was some talking going on the whole time. But he didn't open his mouth to spit on Jalen Ramsey, and they got into a scuffle. And of course, Jalen Ramsey said, "Hey, man, you can say what you want while we playing, but when you spit on me, it's up." So being a Pittsburgh fan and watching that game, I know you did. AFC North battle. What do you think about that incident?
First off, shouts out to Mike Tomlin, who, when they asked him in the press conference, what did you say to Jalen Ramsey regarding that incident, how he should have handled it or whatnot. And Tomlin said, when a man spits on you, you do what comes natural. And I love that answer because that's exactly what you're supposed to do. He did not give coach speak. He did not do this. Well, I'm on the competition committee, so we can't have that. No, if somebody, if somebody spits on you, ass whooping is next. Period. Point blank. It's not, man, I can't believe you spit on me. Why would you do that? You don't pull a Dak. You damn bust them in the head. Quick story. I had in the 10th grade, about 10th grade, football practice during the summer. And at that time, I had a curl that was wet, but it was dry, but it looked wet.
Yeah, the lead curl.
Yeah, I had the carefree curl, the gold and red bottle.
Gold bottle, all right.
So this guy, I'm not gonna say his name, but I remember it vividly. He kept doing this, act like he was spitting in my hand. I'm trying to pay attention to what the coach is saying, and he finally comes over and. But he didn't. He didn't spit in my head, but he acted like it. But it sounded like it, and you was already getting on my damn nerves. He kept doing it, and I told him to stop. The third time, strike three, you out. I had my hand on my helmet because I was on my knee. I had my hand on my face mask, and that time when he was drawing back, I jumped up. Bam! Like Samson swinging the jawbone of an ass. I tried to crack his skull open. Fortunate for him, it just went here and hit his shoulder pad. And after that, we started tussling. After that, we had the crab crawl 500 yards.
Oh man!
Yeah. And
wait a minute.
After that,
y'all were teammates?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't give a damn if your teammates or not.
Right.
You can, bottom line is you can't spit on a person. You can't even act like you do it. I don't have a problem with Jalen Ramsey doing that in the NFL. The NFL needs to not only suspend him for that game and that game check, they need to suspend Chase for 2, not just because he spit on him, but then he blatantly lied after.
About it.
If somebody asked you, hey, did you spit on that man? If you didn't, you just say no. Nah, I did not open my mouth to the hell. Who says that? I did not open my mouth towards no. You spit on that man, and then now you got caught. You lied about it, and now you're trying to appeal it. Man, the NFLPA should not even they shouldn't appeal. They should tell them, look, man, you did it. You losing $500,000 and you ain't playing next week.
Is that like Clinton and his weed smoke? I didn't inhale.
No, because in this
I stuck it in, but I didn't. Oh,
yeah. In this instance, you actually did it, and we got it on tape. There's no legally correct answer. It's no, well, legally I didn't do such and such. Like Monica Lewinsky, I did not have sex with that woman. No, you just had a little sloppy toppy. So
that's a form of assault too, isn't it?
In the real world, yeah.
Oh, okay.
On the football field, it just grounds for you to get your ass whooped. But yeah, so I have a big problem with that. And you already saw what happened to Jalen Carter in the first game this year for spitting on Dak. He got suspended for a game, but it was retroactive because he didn't play in that game, so he missed that game.
Right.
You just can't spit on people.
Now, I was about to get to that point, or to that question. Do you feel the NFL was fair? Because what they wanted to do was remain consistent with the punishment. They wanted Jalen Carter's punishment to equal. They wanted Jamar Chase's punishment to equal Jalen Carter's. Do you think they were consistent? With that, because I had said before, and I know it happened to my team, but it was like one game really wasn't enough for Jalen Carter to keep the league from believing, oh, okay, I could sacrifice one game, but if you had to sacrifice like 5, you might keep your saliva to yourself. So I always felt like Jalen Carter didn't get enough of a punishment, where that's concerned, because and it came back this season to because he pulled the Fat Albert Haynesworth, and you can see, I guess these guys have $507 just floating around.
Yeah,
no problem.
But the thing about these guys is not just the money they get, but when you keep them from playing, keep them off the field, that's what hurts, because they love doing it and they want. And you tell somebody you can't do what you want or what you love doing, that's what gets you. And I think 2 games should be 1 game, and the check is fine. But when this man goes and lies about not doing it, okay, we're finna get you for lying too, because 4K, the eye in the sky does not lie. We see this big Ouija coming out, foof, and you gonna tell us you didn't do it. You telling me that my eyes didn't see what my eyes just saw? Yeah, absolutely. You going for 2 weeks. You going for 2 weeks, and that's $1 million you're gonna miss.
Yeah, I'm slapping you with the 2. A little bit of anger management program. definitely some sit-ins with the kids. You know, I need you to go to the football programs, high school, little league, or whatever, and talk with the kids about how you're not supposed to be doing that. Because regardless of what anyone in Charles Barkley says, you're a role model. So you have to really be held accountable to a degree. You know, even in the heat of battle, when you use your extremities as a weapon. Now,
yeah, you
go
could
ahead,
have pushed. You could have pushed him. You could have punched him.
he wasn't gonna
You could have
push it.
done. Yeah, but you could have done. If he had done anything else other than spit, been like, hey man, it's a heat of battle. Is it? But the spit, that's the equivalent of a man coming up to another man and he's talking and he just takes his glove off and just slaps him like that.
Like a pimp.
Yeah, like a
Yeah,
that it's the disrespect more than it's not that
it
the
really
slap
is the
hurt. It's the
principality.
disrespect. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
it comes down to the principality.
yeah,
Really does.
you just can't do it. So
It really
Jamar,
does.
I hope you enjoy being on. Well, y'all ain't going to the playoffs no way. So I mean, I guess he figured that's one less week. He got to get banged up for nothing.
Got an extra bye week. Got an extra bye week, not for free.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking of weeks, because we usually go over a lot of the what would be the NFL standings, but it's like some top stories going on.
Yeah.
And I don't want to take that 10 minutes of time, you know, in our time, because this would have been the top story had it not been for Ja'Marr Chase. But it's been a lot of talk, and I'm just gonna get into it. It's been a lot of talk. Shedeur Sanders finally got an opportunity, you know, in a backup role. I got to point that out, to get into his first NFL football game regular season. After Dillon Gabriel suffered what is now a concussion, has been diagnosed as a concussion, and he is indeed in concussion protocol. And there have been a lot of mixed emotions and overblown, to me, emotions about Shedeur's performance. I think it was a 13.5 QBR, 4 of 27 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and the argument, people are arguing that all of the people who said "I told you so," look at him, look at how he plays. And then you have the people who are, of course, fans of Prime, so they're fans of Shedeur, saying he didn't get any first team reps, so this is why he played the way he played. You know, fortunately for this week, because I try to assess players based upon full week of practice. If it is a possibility that Gabriel doesn't make it out of concussion protocol this week, Shedeur Sanders will start, so he will get his first team reps, and he will have an opportunity to get some practice with first team wide receivers and the offensive line, get the cadence down, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. My thing is, I didn't really see anything that gave evidence of, because I was trying to look at the passes he threw, the arm strength, presence in the pocket, because he was in a winnable football game. And before I go on, shout out, we're gonna get into that, but shout out to Myles Garrett. I don't want to get into it just yet, but shout out to Myles Garrett and the dynamic football player that he is. But we're gonna get into that a little later. But it's like I didn't see any evidence of a lot of false starts, fumbles on the snap. That's that gave me any reason to believe that from a quarterback under center standpoint and communication with the offensive line, Shedeur was having those troubles because he didn't go with the first team. And I just kind of want to point something out because a lot of people are using this argument with the first team. There is not an NFL rule or NFL regulation that states that any backup QB is offered the opportunity or is obligated to get reps with the first team. You usually save those reps for the starting quarterback, and you don't want to waste those reps with the starting quarterback. Waste those reps with the backup quarterback. Even with football being a contact sport and a collision sport, I have not heard this argument until this is your situation. So I'm just trying to understand the context of using that argument. And is this whole thing overblown? And should we just kind of just let the man progress in the next week and see what happens, and then give our assessment of a rookie? You know, so what do you think about the whole situation, Tank?
I think it's an overblown mess, and like you said, it's because it's Deion's son, and it's because everybody's saying Shedeur got shafted because he didn't get drafted at
Goes back to that.
number one or number two pick in the draft, and everybody passed on him multiple times. And again, like you said, and most people, and this is high school, this is college, and the NFL, Jim. Your backup quarterback does not get reps with the first team unless he's all of a sudden starting, or the starting quarterback is injured for that week, or is injured, or is having a rest day. Other than that, you don't take first team reps. Most guys your backup center doesn't take reps with the first team offense. You're a backup and you take reps with the backups. And now, especially with the NFL, as far as the workload, as far as, hey, you can only practice X number of hours per week. You only have X amount of padded practices per season and all that. Those reps that you get are at a premium because you don't have 2 a days anymore. You don't have, we're going to be out here until y'all get it right. I don't care if it's 8 o'clock. We're going to be out here until y'all get this damn play right. You don't have that anymore. It's 5 o'clock. Okay, practice over. We'll pick back up tomorrow. Shedeur looked like what I and what anybody else would and should expect from a rookie quarterback who hasn't gotten practice reps. If he had looked better than that, great. But I'm not passing judgment on him saying he can't play because I don't know. I'm not saying he can play because I don't know. But he looks like what you would have expected him to, what you should expect him to look like. Your backup running back, he's getting reps because of the nature of the position. He gets some reps with the first team because a lot of times he's a situational back or they're running back by committee. Your second string receivers, they're gonna get in because of the packages run. You don't run second string quarterback packages, unless you run a wildcat or something like that.
You just don't.
Yeah, it's just some teams might give him. Cam said, his backup would get maybe 5 snaps in practice. 5 snaps is not going to get you prepared for a game. And and also you have to look at it and think about it. Shedeur is a rookie. You know what? Dillon Gabriel is a rookie.
Dillon Gabriel is a rookie, and they don't want to waste those reps if they're going to make him the starter. But go ahead.
Yeah. So you got 2 rookies. Why and how would you hinder both of their development by splitting reps? So now neither one of them gets the full development, the full experience, and everything. Now you're getting half from each of them. No, until Shedeur shows that he's a starter, or in this instance, this week he will be, since with Gabriel having the concussion, we'll get to see Shedeur with a full week or reps with the ones and all that. And I think that he blew it out of proportion with the offensive lineman when he said, that's the first time I ever heard his cadence. I ever took snaps. I don't think he was saying that to throw Stefanski under the bus, because Stefanski's whole year has been him throwing himself under the bus. I think he was just saying, hey, I hadn't heard his reps before. That was it. I hadn't heard his cadence because he doesn't practice with us. He practices with the backups. So I think it's being blown out of proportion. There's people who got this love affair with Shedeur, because if Shedeur gets in this week and he stinks up the joint, he looked as bad as he did this past week or worse, what are they going to say then? Well, it's only been 1 week.
They're going to say something.
Yeah.
They're going to say something. And I apologize for cutting you off, but you mentioned Stefanski. Should he be really taking a lot of this grunt that he's taking? Because the narrative is, and let's be honest, the narrative is he doesn't like Shedeur. Do you think the man doesn't like Shedeur? I think quarterbacks and coaches have this kind of like parents. A lot of parents don't admit it, but they have a favorite child. You show a little favoritism towards a child. And if Stefanski looked at the film in the Cleveland War Room and decided Gabriel really is the one that I like with my offense, and the GM decided that he wanted to go with Shedeur, is it really up to Stefanski to give Shedeur that chance, or is it up to Shedeur to prove to Stefanski, who questioned him from the start, and I don't know if he did, I'm just saying hypothetically if he did, if that wasn't his favorite, to give this man this opportunity? And it's unfortunate Stefanski is getting a bad rap as disliking this young man, when I believe that all NFL coaches knowing that wins are how you keep your job. Wins are definitely how you keep your job in Cleveland. And everyone knows how bad Cleveland is. Shout out to Ohio State for giving the people of Ohio, something to, have some promise. But at any rate, it's like, is it really Stefanski that you should be reprimanding at this point? Or should you go under the ideology that, hey, y'all have been calling this man a 5th round pick. He has a chip on his shoulder. When I get in, I'm staying in. No one else is getting this job back. Is that up to Shedeur to, instead of getting ready, always being ready? Because I know you do state that there are practice times that the NFL has guidelines with, and regulation that the NFL has guidelines with, that they can't practice anymore. But, is there anything that says Shedeur can't pull that starting center to the side and pull his wide receiver core to the side, starting wide receiver core, I should say, and say, hey, man, you mind throwing 10 little balls with me after practice? Can you just like work on my cadence with me? Even though I might not get in, just 10, whether it be after practice in the film room. I think as professionals, unless you really want to get home to your family, I think professionals respect the fact that you're showing that level of responsibility and leadership.
That
just
you
in
want to
case
get better.
your number gets called and you want to get better. So, like I said, I'm not assessing the young man. I'm really like kind of going in on this argument that really people are having based on and it's not really football. So I just kind of hope, people just kind of get off of that. That's why I did state the rules, before that. The argument of he didn't have reps with the first team is not really an argument. No one does.
Right.
When you get thrust into the
game. Yeah. Because every backup
get
who winds up coming in the game, they come in cold, and yes, some are veterans, so they get acclimated quicker. But the bottom line is they didn't take snaps the whole week. They haven't been taking snaps. They've been taking mental reps, and they get thrust into the game. Peyton Manning's backup had the cush job because he never took snaps. He never took snaps in practice. Peyton took the backup. Peyton took the snaps with the second team offense. He wanted all the reps, and they let him have it. So that his backup, who never got in the game because Peyton took every single rep every time. Yeah. Well, we up 50-0, and we got 20 seconds left. We got the ball back. No, I go in. I take this final snap. He never got in the game. So, but yeah, I don't think that Stefanski should be. I don't think he's a good coach, but at the same time, I don't think that the narrative.
He wouldn't be in Cleveland. He wouldn't be in Cleveland if he was good, though. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. But as far as the narrative, they say, well, he doesn't like Shedeur. I don't think it's a thing of him not. The way you say it, the way it comes across when people say he doesn't like Shedeur, like it's personal. I don't like this guy. I don't like.
Yeah, I cannot. I don't think it's.
I don't think it's
that. I cannot like your game and still like you.
Yeah, I don't like you for this team. I don't like you as my quarterback because I wanted Gabriel, and that's who I'm working on developing. I would prefer to have somebody else as the backup as opposed to you. Not because it's nothing personal or whatnot, but this is the guy who I wanted, and this is the guy that I'm all in for. I can't be all in for him and still be saying, okay, let me make sure that you're comfortable. Okay, do you understand what we're doing here? No, I'm trying to develop a rookie who is perceived to be. I'm trying to see if that's the quarterback of the future. I can't put everything into Gabriel if I'm trying to put something into Shedeur at the same time. Because if things go the way I'm hoping they go, Shedeur, you won't be playing because Gabriel's gonna be the starter for years.
And both of them really should be. Both rookies should be. Should have the ideology. I'm not letting anybody in.
Yeah. So I don't think
this thing since OTAs in spring. I'm not letting anybody in because that boy probably trying to get back on the field with a headache.
Yeah. So I think that it's how can I put it? It's freaking Cleveland. That's why it's a mess. That's why it's a mess. It's Cleveland. Shedeur, it needs to get, and it's hard to say trade somebody who don't have any films or whatnot. But Shedeur next season, if things go well for him, he'll get traded to Frisco and be the backup and get groomed there, or he'll go to some other, or he'll be sent to another team that has a coach who's known for helping to develop quarterbacks, because they don't have a veteran quarterback on the roster for either one of them to turn to. Think about it. Gabriel has the issue, and I can't talk to quarterback coach right now. Shedeur, what you think? Hell, man, I'm trying to figure out the playbook my damn self. Shoot, man, how we gonna do this? We both trying to figure out trigonometry and calculus, and we don't know the basics.
And the exam is every week.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a bad situation in that quarterback room, and honestly, not because he was great or very good, but because he was a veteran and had some experience. They should have kept Kenny Pickett just to have a veteran presence in the quarterback room, because I'm sure Deshaun Watson not hanging out there. So I think they should have kept
Hey,
Pickett
did you have to say hanging
just
out?
to help. Balls. They say, but I think they should have kept Pickett. At least you have a veteran quarterback who can answer some questions for you and who started a couple of seasons and can tell you, hey, this is the things you need to look for. These are the things you go. You know what I mean? But you
Absolutely.
can't have two rookies trying to figure it out. That's stupid.
That's tough, man. That is tough. Now, moving right along, I promised myself, if you want to, before I go into this, if you want to, because I didn't give you your opportunity, you want to talk about the actual Pittsburgh and Cincinnati game? Do you want to give that some time? Because you want it. That's your team. That's your team.
Hey, I'm just happy that we came out with a win. I'm happy that the defense, we got 2 defensive touchdowns, which is big. The special teams, which was the field goals, scored. Defense scored. Offense scored. And what I've been saying for the longest is since we got we got one receiver, and then we got other people who are just penciled in at the position, and Smith insists on using 4 damn tight ends. They're all slow. None of them are explosive. Get them the ball in motion when they're moving, so that she's throwing to a target, so that they already had no momentum up. And you saw what happened when they gave it to Mount Washington when he was running, when he was catching the ball, instead of turn around, stop, and then you got to wait for, how long it takes a train to build up steam. You can stop a train when it's first getting started because then it ain't going nowhere. But once it gets up steam, yeah, that's what happened with Washington on those passes when they threw it to him, and he's moving. That's what Smith needs to do with these tight ends. Stop throwing stuff where everybody's just standing there waiting for the ball. And we still
everything.
Yeah,
that's a grown man right there, boy.
Yeah, grown ass man.
That's and a grown man right
there. And the same thing with Freiermuth. And Freiermuth is a small tight end. He ain't with 255. Get him the ball in motion.
It has that Gronk Gonzalez feel.
Yeah.
Is it not Gonzalez?
Hernandez.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. That Gronk Hernandez feel, not Gonzalez.
Yeah. That's what they need to do.
Wrong easy. Yeah. Shout out to all my EZs, because I love me some EZs. Don't get me right. Lopez, Hernandez, Gonzalez.
Yeah, so but because actually with the 2 big tight ends, one huge one in Washington and one big one in Freiermuth, it reminds me of years ago when Pittsburgh had Eric Green and Cooper, the Adrian Cooper, the other tight end, who was 260 some pounds at the time. They had over 500. Green was about 300. So they had almost 600 pounds in tight ends in those 2. And they were hard to stop when they got the ball in motion. But I think that Pittsburgh, if they play this way from here on out, are they going to make a deep playoff run? No. But they could get to the playoffs and actually be competitive in the first round as opposed to just getting blown out. And
hold on. Since we didn't go over the standings, I just want to ask you, because you did say deep playoff run. Who do you still see? I'm not going to say coming out of the AFC. I'm going to say AFC Championship game right now. Who do you see?
No, I think Buffalo is trending upward after seeing Allen put his Superman cape on, and I don't know. KC is This might be a one-off, but they got to fight to try to make a wild card. I don't think Denver or New England, they won't have the playoff chops once they get in there. So I think this is probably Buffalo's best chance at winning the AFC. I don't think Baltimore is going to make a deep run. Lamar is off. So I got Buffalo. I got Buffalo. I don't think the Colts are going to make a deep run.
So who you think they'll face?
It'll be Buffalo, and I say Buffalo and Baltimore just because Baltimore has the experience of have been there. These other guys are going to be enough for the first time or so. And
so you think Lamar coming back, kicks it back into gear, and KC's windows closed, Daniel Jones in Indianapolis, even with the power at running back that they have.
Yeah, I think it's Baltimore. I think it's Baltimore based on them having the playoff experience. The other ones don't have the playoff experience. They got playoff experience coach, but not personnel.
Okay.
So and now that's subject to change if we see some catastrophic injuries or somebody, or if KC somehow gets hot and sneaks in and is clicking.
That's subject to change week anyway, because the NFL is NFL is an unpredictable league.
Definitely.
Just ask my my gambling pot. Man. Now, if you don't know, and shout out to everyone right quick. I just want to make sure, everyone is tuned in to the No Jazz Show, NOJASSSHOW, on Facebook Live, Twitch Live, Riverside Live, please, in the chat. Oh man, there's some people saying some things in the chat, and I haven't even looked. Hold on, we got you got that going on. Twitter, X, all of that, No Jazz Show. Make sure you're joining in and tuning in to us right now as we update this past week in sports and entertainment. Right fast. Let me check this out. See who said what.
Yeah, but
okay.
But to finish up with Pittsburgh, I know Aaron Rodgers is expected to play this week. It's a slight wrist fracture on his non-throwing wrist, so I'm sure he's going to gut it out. But I do like the fact that, and you saw Mason Rudolph. Yes, he's a vet, and he started some games, but you saw he had to come in cold and produce. That's just without having to add any reps. That's just what backups are paid to do. And he came in.
Somebody gonna be like, Mason Rudolph is a vet.
Yeah, but vet or not, if you ain't playing and taking no snaps, you coming in cold. But that's what a backup's job is. And
absolutely.
Shedeur as the backup, that's what his job was. And again, we're not casting any aspersions on him because he's a rookie, and it's one game. So so don't go getting your panties all in a knot over that. But yeah, I think that we're in a position that we could make the playoffs and play a good game in the playoffs and not get blown out for the first time in forever. But a deep push, no, we don't have the offensive firepower to do that. I mean, defense will have to be dominant and scoring points in order for that to happen.
Y'all really gonna think my lips dry, and they're not. I just have I got the LL Cool J syndrome. Shout out. We ain't gonna hit refresh. We're not gonna hit refresh, but I do want to say this. Since I said LL Cool J, and I'm not sponsoring Vaseline. They're not a sponsor, but I do want to say this. Shout out to LL Cool J and Def Jam, November 18th marks the 40th anniversary of Radio.
Radio.
The first studio album by LL Cool J and Def Jam, which sold 500,000 within its first week, went on 8 months later. Well, actually 8 years, about 6 years later, it was certified platinum, but we are talking about 1985. Prior to hip hop being what it is, and for him to do that, and for Def Jam
was
to do that,
phenomenal.
and going to be what they are, this is
Phenomenal.
That is phenomenal work. We're talking about 1 year before Raising Hell was the first, and that's coming up on the 40th year anniversary next year, November 15th, I believe. Raising Hell was the first hip hop album to go platinum, and then right behind that one, a few months later, was Licensed to Ill with the Beastie Boys, which was Def Jam's first platinum album. So shout out to LL.
Yeah.
Shout out to LL and Radio. You know, I just kind of wanted to say that as I put the chapstick on my lips.
Yeah, that Rock the Bell still hits today, man.
Man, Rock the
Bell still hits today.
Rock the Bell. Rock the Bell. Now, back to sports. I promised myself I'm not going to talk about this team, my team, until next week. I'm not going to give them any sort of airplay to that regard to the next week. I am proud of the win. I am proud of what I saw. As far as, you know, them dedicating the game to their fallen, and them going out and playing for him, and they'll do it again next week. But what they show glimpses of what you're hoping them to be, especially with Overshown coming back and them finally starting that pick at cornerback that they had. I'll get his name in a minute. I got his name, but I'm thinking about something else. But the subject that I do want to get into, and before I get into that, I want to thank my main man Tank for being such a gracious friend, a gracious fan. This is my opportunity to give gratitude and thanks for allowing us to have this young man grace us with his presence. We understand that he is on a 1-year contract, and he is I'm not certain, but he didn't have any off the field problems. He just had kind of like between the lines and on the field issues in Pittsburgh. But
showing up late to games, missing meetings, you know, that kind of stuff.
You know that all that kind of stuff. We as a Cowboys organization have been known to embrace those types of attitudes. And my main man George Pickens, GP3, showed out. It was the Vegas Raiders. Don't get me right. It was just Vegas. That's why I don't want to talk about the win per se. I'm not gonna make it anything more than that. We meet the Eagles next week. We get to test all these new toys that we have. But what I did want to bring up after my thank yous for allowing for Pittsburgh for releasing him to us in that trade. Or was it just a release? I don't need certain, because I don't think y'all got anything for him. Right? It was a trade. Okay.
Trade. Man, he would have looked good with Metcalf with us no, it wouldn't, because Smith would have found a way to stymie both of them instead of just stymieing Metcalf. So yeah,
I think Rodgers. And you're speaking of your offensive coordinator, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Rodgers might have trumped that to a degree, but I'm not mad, because that's a talented young man. And the subject that I'm getting at is, because you heard me last week, and you heard me, and I'm gonna leave a clip of what I said, because I'm not afraid and I don't bite my tongue. And a lot of people have really told me, especially in these Cowboys groups, show me you don't know football. But I've been saying it, and I'm asking myself, and I'm asking you, with the way George Pickens is playing, he's on the first page of the wide receivers reception list and yards. Although CD did miss 3 games, he has 40 catches. I think our highest reception leader is Ferguson, our tight end. Nevertheless, it's not about him. Do you think Pickens is pricing himself out of us, keeping him on our roster next year? This man is a one. This man is a weapon. And I want to get into this part too. Because this is something I kind of want you to assess as well. Our very own 88, former 88, still 88 in our hearts. Dez Bryant made a statement saying that if George Pickens wants to win and create a future with Dallas, look into taking a pay cut in order to remain a Cowboy. Do you think this man, if he continues to do what he's doing, you think he should take a pay cut to stay with Dallas? Or you think they even should try him like that?
Absolutely not. He's on a rookie contract. He was a second round pick. So he didn't. It's not like he got double-digit millions. It's not like he got $20 million coming out of college. This is his opportunity, his first opportunity to get market value for his skills. Why would he accept less than market value on his first lucrative contract in the free agent market, to be on paper anyway the second wideout? It's not as if, and this is not a shot, it's not as if at this point Dallas is a Super Bowl team. It's not like he's in Kansas City in their heyday, and well, man, if you leave, you ought to stay here because we go there every year. It's not one of those situations. This man wants his
Even
money.
Tyreek Hill didn't do that.
Right. Man, I'm gonna get my money and I'm gonna go somewhere. I'm gonna be the man, and hopefully we winning at the same time. I don't think that he needs to make himself smaller just to stay in Dallas. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to do that. Man, this is your first opportunity to get to where you can name your price. And I'm gonna give y'all. Dallas didn't even draft him. It's not like he'd be giving them. Well, I'm gonna give them a hometown discount because they took a chance on me coming out of college.
No such thing.
Yeah, man, you better go on and get your money. But I do think that he's pricing himself. He's playing himself out of Dallas. And when we say playing himself out of Dallas, we're talking about because he's doing such a good job. He deserves to go at this point. He deserves to be somewhere else as the starter getting paid. And when they list the wideouts, they say, "Oh well, who's the X? It's Pickens."
It's Pickens.
For this team, who's the X? It's Pickens. Who's the? He'll probably be the number one free agent wide receiver next year as well. So yeah, if I'm the number one in my position as a free agent, and this is my first time as a free agent, no way in Hades am I taking a pay cut to stay somewhere. It's you out of your damn mind. So yeah, he's playing himself out, and he should go wherever he can get his money. And not wherever, because he can wind up with the damn Jets.
He can wind up with the Jets. And the politics of football, I want to say this too, because I'm not pitting, because a lot of people said that that's what I was doing, but that's not the case. I love the camaraderie and the brotherhood that he and CD have. I love how Dez, as the alumni, comes back to embrace this young man. I love that. I love the fact I don't love it, but I do kind of love the fact that they had to sit out that first he and CD had to sit out that first series because they were at the club too long, but they're hanging out together like they're brothers, and they want that to remain. So that's actually promising. But if Jerry comes to me and says, if I'm GP, Jerry comes to me and says, hey man, at the end of the day, you're our number 2, so we're going to be looking at you with the Higgins type.
Nope.
Jerry, don't do that man like that. Like don't even look at this young man with the Devontae Smith attitude. I'm like, ask your quarterback, who after next year probably gonna be 2 more years. He's 24 years old. CD's 26. We're talking about if you figure out how to keep him, by the time you draft another quarterback and put him in there, that's going to be 27 and 29, still prime. If these two guys still are doing their thing, you have to figure out if it's your I'll say this, priority. Treat the man right. And treating him right is you gotta let him go and make the money for his future and his family first. Like, please don't try to negotiate anything other than what this man deserves as a football player.
If this was his third contract as opposed to his second, then I could see.
Old, right.
Yeah, I could see if this wasn't his first foray into free agency, but the second one, I could see trying to finagle it.
And he's already been paid.
Yeah, but no, this man is now has earned already number 1 receiver money.
You can tell that,
and you got to get it to him. Yeah, you either gonna pay both of them, him and CD, that kind of money. You're gonna either wind up paying him more than what you're paying CD per year, or you're gonna have to let him go.
Because the question is, you have the draft picks, so you may do well in the draft and get someone on defense, because I know that's going to be the priority. You may get someone on defense at a cheap price for 3 years and then have to worry about that 3 years down the line. You've taken on Quinn's money, so he's not going to be an issue for another 2 or 3 years, I believe. Uzi, whatever, him. Kenny Clark, I think they're pretty locked in. There is a, and this is what I believe they're going to test. There's a Trayvon Diggs paycheck that you might be able to alleviate, in order to keep someone that's handling business. There's nothing against Trayvon. I'm just saying, like, and my main man, CD, if you love your friend that much, are you willing to negotiate? I don't think number 4 negotiating anymore. No. I think he done. But you cannot deny this young man his money. That's a bad boy. He juicing people. He making it look very easy. Double teams and main cornerback. Woo. Yeah, what I said last week. I don't want to repeat myself.
Yeah, and he's doing for CD what CD haven't been able to do for anybody else.
Exactly. See, you don't want to get me talking, because I'm almost like, if it come down to it, and I know contracts won't let you do it, get you some picks for CD, because the man is proven, you can get you. And we were talking about wide receiver use coming out of college.
Mm-hmm.
This man has proven we might be able to get us Njigba. I'm sorry if I butchered your name.
Njigba, yeah.
Njigba, Igbuka, Drake London in the draft. If we get the picks for CD, if it come down to that, because, and I'm not knocking CD. I want them to be together. What I'm saying is, this man does for receivers something CD doesn't do.
Right.
He taking people with him. He getting you open. Whoever his agent is, don't go. Oh, his agent is Michael Parsons' agent, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Don't go to the negotiating table playing with that man's paycheck.
Yeah, he's, and it's rare that you say this about any player.
I'm telling you,
in this time of the year.
Don't mess me up. Don't mess me up, sweet GP.
Yeah, it's one thing. Wait a minute, you're 10 games in. He's on the 1 year contract. It's rare that you say 10 games in for any player, hey, go ahead and give him market value right now. Give him his money. No, you ain't even got to see the rest of it.
And I know the Pittsburgh defense coordinator and the Pittsburgh DBs. If you all watching this, y'all gonna be like, KD, we're gonna show you who your boy ain't next week. Please do it. Please do it, because I got another receiver on the other side who should pick up the slack if you do.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point, and I kind of want to see if he does, because what I don't want this young man to get caught up in is the politics of the game, to where balls don't get thrown his way in order to make it look like, from a numerical standpoint,
that he's falling off. Yeah,
exactly. Mm-hmm. And then you're trying to keep 88 happy, because he missed 3 games, and his receptions don't stand up to what he normally would do when he's healthy. But like I said, I sincerely thank him for what he's done thus far. And if he has to leave and get his money, I'm more satisfied with that than him being a Cowboy. I want him to be a Cowboy. Yeah, I do. I want to go ahead and get me a 3 jersey, because I am religiously a fan of the 88 jersey. But I'll get me a 3. For that.
Yeah, he deserves his money.
That's a bad boy. Now, Justin Fields. Oh, you know where I'm going, huh? Woo, Justin Fields benched. Is this the end of the road for him?
I believe this is the end of the road for him as a starter. But there's going to be some coach out there who thinks that he's got what it takes to get out of him what people thought that he had. He's just not good, man. But remember, he was going to be on the bench, what was it, 2 weeks ago, but old boy got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what was going to happen anyway. It's just now, okay, Tyrod's healthy now, unless he get punctured in the lung again,
right,
or something. But yeah, I think this is the end of the. How did they tell in the New Edition movie when the guy came in and was talking to Mike Bivens, and he said, "Hey man, Bob be popping off, man. I'm sorry, Bob be popping off." And he said, "Hey, young fella, this ain't the street. This is a business, and I think this is the end of the road for you." Yeah, because he's shown nothing. I mean, I tried to hold out judgment on him for years because of this situation, but dude, it can't be the same thing everywhere you go. And truthfully, people want to say, well, look at what he was doing in Pittsburgh last year. Nothing. Handing the ball off, not making the difference. One game where he had 200 some yards passing, they had to have a control offense under him because you can't. He's one of those quarterbacks that you let him start flinging it, it's going to end up in the other team's hands. He's going to fumble. He's going to tuck it and run somewhere and leave it on the carpet. He's going to run into a sack. He's not going to have a pocket awareness. I mean,
do you think he has clipboard awareness?
I don't know. Be honest, I think his head I think it's spinning when the ball gets snapped. I don't think the game is slowed down for him at all. I think it's a whirlwind. Everything that's going on now, and
but it was playing around a lot of talent.
Yeah, and he had you had Garrett Wilson, who's a good receiver. You had Breece Hall, who's a good running back. So when they were healthy, they weren't, you weren't getting anything out of them. Yeah, he's just not a good quarterback. Right? Yeah, he's just not a good quarterback.
Man. All right. Well, I don't want to stay on it too long.
He might be a backup somewhere. I think that's because he's a first round pick. Somebody's gonna give him a shot and he'll be a backup somewhere. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not gonna beat him up so bad about, but he's just not a starting caliber quarterback. And that's fine. That's a lot of guys that aren't starting caliber quarterbacks.
It's funny you said this is crazy. Coincidentally, you mentioned the New Edition story and Bobby spit on.
And it was up.
It was up. Bobby spit on Bill.
and they were brothers. So hey, that's bro code. That's man code. You don't spit on nobody.
You just don't spit on nobody. Speaking of injuries, man, I do want to point this out, man. An unfortunate season-ending injury for Michael Penix Jr. in Atlanta. And now we're getting the Kirk Cousins show back again. What do you think Atlanta goes from here?
I don't think they're gonna win much. I mean, I don't believe they're gonna make the playoffs. I always thought that Penix was a risk because he had four season-ending injuries in college over two different colleges. He blew out his knee twice. Now he's blown that same knee out again. I mean, he probably and me and a friend of mine, we were talking about this last week. I mean, he's got an arm. But for someone who clocks a 4.40, he comes across, he looks like the most unathletic athlete that you can find. But he can't even escape the pot. I mean, if he granted, you clocked the 4.4, so it means you have some speed. He can't even get out of the pocket when there's trouble. He can't outrun sacks. He can't get out. It's like, I tell you who he looks like back there. Can't avoid sacks at all, but he can throw it. He looked like Doug Williams out the back there. Can't get out of the way. Struggling to run. I mean, he looks slower than these pure pocket passes we got in the league.
Doug Williams and what was my man name? The offense coordinator for Tampa Bay a few years ago. Phoenix. They had to pick him up.
Byron Leftwich.
Byron Leftwich.
Yeah.
Cannon, but he's not going nowhere.
Yeah. Going nowhere slow.
Concrete feet.
Yeah.
Going nowhere slow. Shout out to Byron Leftwich, man. He should be somewhere, doing your thing in the NFL. I know you got a football mind, but go ahead.
Yeah, and because of that, he doesn't have that element. You can predict where he's going to be in the pocket, and with these injuries, every time they go in and have to reconstruct your knee, that's just arthritis waiting to happen sooner than it normally would. He might have Todd Gurley knees tomorrow because he's had that type of surgery, and this is going to be 3 times in 7 years because he had 5 years in college and 2 years. This is second year. He hadn't even played a full season yet. He doesn't have a full season of games, and his year is already over. And the Falcons do need to look at the fact that, hey, what are we going to do as a contingency plan if he comes back or isn't able to come back the way we need him to?
Well, here's the thing, too. Coincidentally, I want to point this out. You mentioned Doug Williams, and Doug Williams' son is actually his quarterback coach.
Mm-hmm.
With the Falcons. So I thought that was very interesting that you brought that in there. Now, the contingency plan is probably with Atlanta doing all they did with the defense, and they're young on defense. And then you kind of got to think about this too. And I don't want to see anyone. I like Penix Jr., hometown. Don't want to see him go.
Yeah.
The situation is you got a young Bijan, and you got a you got a guy dog
in London.
You got a mutant X-Man got dog on Drake London, boy. That's a bad boy. That's a bad boy. He is why I don't want Pickens to leave, because if Atlanta pick up Pickens and him, I'm not taking anything away from Mooney, but I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, that'd be dangerous.
Oh, that's a scary. But anyway, those guys are young, and you kind of want to get you want to get your value out of that by putting a quarterback in there that can make sure. Because these windows in the NFL, we're going to get to a window in just a minute. These windows in the NFL aren't the windows Buffalo had in the 90s. They aren't the windows Dallas had in the 90s. They aren't the windows Kansas City just had. These windows close fast. So they're really going to have to, like, I think that's what the situation is, where, because Cousins broke up too.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to really think about what you want to do. And he old.
Yeah.
So, but before I get into that window, we are at the hour and a half mark of this episode and this show. You are watching the No Jazz Show, NOJASSSHOW, on YouTube, Riverside, X, Twitch, and live on TikTok. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share to all those platforms that we're on now. And we do
one thing I always get. Hold on, I'm sorry. One thing that they always get me every time you say Riverside is, you remember in Juice when Tupac walks up behind Rodman when they run here. Woo! I thought he got us. Yeah, man, that was close. Then next thing you know, he blows his head out there. Riverside, mother.
Yeah, exactly. And funny story about that is, it was blanks in the gun, but they say he shot Rodman's ear off for real. I mean, he shot him in the ear for real. That's what Trent said. But that's just another note. Maybe I be on the internet too much, watching and getting information. But when we were speaking of windows, do you think the window has closed? I don't think the window has closed for my homie. I think he's still that guy. But I do believe that window is closed, and it's time to reload that gun. You know, they got some young receivers, Rashid, and Xavier X. He'll be coming
Worthy.
back next year. Worthy. So, you know, you can't just replace a Kelsey. But Mahomes can't make anyone look like a Kelsey. They've never actually had a running back. And that is one thing I do wish Kansas City would go back to, because I am a fan of the Nigerian Nightmare, the Larry Johnson, Priest Holmes, Jamal Charles.
Imagine Priest Holmes or Jamal in their offense when it was clicking.
Imagine Big Larry just like, okay, we're here. We just gonna clock this thing. You know. Oh, for those of you who don't know, yeah, there was a Larry Johnson football player too.
Yeah, not grandmama.
Not grandmama. It was a Larry Johnson football player. He was a bad man. It was a bad boy for about 4 years. He was bad. But you think that window has closed?
I think for this year the Chiefs window is closed because they're retooling. They're retooling on the fly, and they're taking a step or two back. And not only that, it's not just taking a step back, but you got the Chargers and the what's the name again? The Broncos have taken some steps forward. So it's not so. The Chiefs running almost at the same speed, just a little slower than they were. But the Broncos and Chargers have picked up speed. Yeah, they're running faster now. So
they picked up too much speed for them to actually do what they have and get past them. Yeah, and we're talking about just one division.
Yeah. So I think that that's the main thing, because it's
ain't
hard.
looking like he gonna bring the Raiders along. So
yeah, that team's garbage. But it's rare to see 3 teams from one division make the playoffs now. So they've got that working against them, and they're 4-5. They're below 500. What are they, 4-5, 5-5, 4-5.
4-5.
So,
now hold on. Go ahead.
So yeah, they got to do a whole lot to catch up. They got to do a lot of winning, and the teams ahead of them need to do some losing. So yeah, I think the window is about closed for this year. I think they're going to be in a better position next year, and they're going to draft a little higher based on their record, also more than likely. So they're going to get somebody that they probably wouldn't have been able to get had they been the same Chiefs that we've seen the past. You're talking about almost a decade, 8 years going to your conference championship and also going to 5 Super Bowls. They ain't no small task. And they're
really not.
And you think about it, they played more games than anybody else because they've gone deep into the playoffs they've gone to the conference championship every year. And then they had other years where they were in the Super Bowl as well. So their off season and everything else started after everybody else's. And that wears on you.
That is definitely a reason. That is definitely a legitimate reason.
Yeah, they played an additional season. Yeah, they played longer than an additional season in games because of the success that they've had. So yeah, I think it's wearing on them.
And this is NFL football. It's going to wear on you. You know, it's going to wear on you in any sport. You make deep runs like that. Now, interestingly enough, because we do segue here on No Jazz like none other show. We mentioned the Vegas Raiders, and you see Tank holding his head down. He said that team is sorry. We're gonna go back to Cleveland right quick, but before we go to Cleveland, I just kind of want to say, if Shedeur Sanders is to start and he gets his first team reps, luckily enough, he's meeting the Raiders next week. So we really should get, I won't say a true assessment who he is, but he has an opportunity to really give us a look and say, now, if you can't, you're a rookie, and I'm still gonna get, but it's the Raiders. So that's a like I even appreciated the fact that the Cowboys with their new look defense had a week, had the bye week, and you get the Raiders coming off the bye week to kind of like get that winning feeling back. So and this is not a knock on any NFL team, because I just still think the Raiders can beat Ohio State. So we're not saying that. But from an NFL standpoint, I think this will be a good tune up for young Sanders to kind of, see. And he's in the dome, so you don't have to deal with the elements. So
I got 2 words for you for Shedeur, as far as, hey, this is a good opportunity for him to try to not have to get look decent. Max Crosby. he's going to have. I expect him to feast off of Shedeur's inexperience and that poor line, that poor play calling, and and Shedeur is not exactly
listening too.
Going to be escaping the pocket. Yeah. So I think. Yeah. So so I think Max Crosby is going to get well acquainted with him.
Because Baltimore said, let's just go at him and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be something to watch, and I know people are going to be tuning in to that. Now, the reason I went to Cleveland, because this is probably my favorite part of this particular episode. And there's another guy on. Funny you mentioned Max Crosby, defensive end. There's another guy on the other side of that Cleveland football team that is everything that people were trying to make Micah Parsons in Dallas. And his name is Miles the Beast. What's my man name? Apocalypse. I mean, but it's one thing. It's one thing to make an impact on defense, but it's another thing to make an impact on the game. This man here, he impacts the game, and that's a bad boy. Woo.
He might be arguably the freakiest defensive end that the NFL has seen. When you look at his size, his strength, his speed, his explosiveness, I mean, he's got it all, and it's not supposed to.
270.
It's not supposed to be in all of that's not supposed to be in that kind of frame. And he's yoked. He's not just a big dude who's explosive. He's yoked. I mean, if you've seen, he's an athlete. If you've seen some of his workouts and some of the things that he's done, it's like, okay, why and how is he able to do that? And doing it over and over. Why can he do that and these guys can't? Because he was cut from a completely different cloth. As far as he won the genetic lottery.
Zeus said, the god Zeus said, I'm about to make a football player. The problem was him and Jarrell got together at Krypton and they got the coordinates wrong, and they dropped that man in Cleveland. Cause
yeah,
buddy, now I wanted to give him his props. I did want to give him his props, and I did want to go back to Cleveland because there's this thing that when you're getting a lot of sacks like that, and you're putting up numbers like that from any position you're in, and your team is losing. Does that look the same as it does when you're winning? And we have the data. We kind of have the data in a template, I should say, with Lawrence Taylor and Aaron Donald, Bruce Smith, Reggie White, sack machines that their impact on the game actually shows up in the win-loss column. So does it look the same, that Myles Garrett is doing what he's doing, even though Cleveland is not as successful as those other teams?
Because of what he's doing, because it's Cleveland and they're so bad that they make headlines because of other stuff that goes on. That's the only thing that's keeping him from toiling in anonymity, because he got one playoff game. He got a playoff win back in 2020, but he doesn't see postseason. I mean, if you're not a football guy or a fan of Cleveland, you would probably, it's a possibility you wouldn't know that name. That name doesn't transcend outside of people that are really watching the game, as far as Cleveland fans or people really watching football.
He's suffering from that Simeon Rice syndrome, huh?
Yeah, because he's on a losing team. But he's putting up historical numbers. And this goes back to like the last show we were talking about guys, who can have great numbers of what stats out there look good, they look great, but if it doesn't translate to your team winning, it just looks good. It's just something that you have, and that's Myles' problem right now, because they aren't winning, and he's putting up a record number of stats. He's got 12 sacks now. There's a good chance that he might break the all-time single season sack record. Yeah, 22 and a half, 23.
22 and a half, 23. Yeah, boy.
Yeah. So he could do it, but he ended up doing it on a team that wins, let's stretch it and say 5 games.
It's not even the same impact of watching Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Last season, about to be able to break the rushing record. And it came down to, no, we're not going to let you do it because, we got a Super Bowl run and playoff run, and it ended up, working out for them.
Right.
In that manner, it doesn't have that same impact, but I'm telling you, man, Thanos, that's a bad boy. Good.
Yeah, he's.
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of remember the Looney Tunes, character that had all the hair on his body and all he had all hair and sneakers.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a freaking monster, man. He's not slowing down.
I know.
He's been in there. He's not slowing down. But I'll tell you this: if he does break the record, and it's one of those things where, and somebody said, "Man, he should be somewhere else, man. He could be getting this, that, and other." He had the chance. He said he was all about, he wanted to win. I want to win.
But that's homegrown.
I want to win. And I wanted to win. And now, and then they came back and said, "Hey, we're gonna make you the highest paid defender that this league's ever seen." Okay, I'm in. Y'all, wait a minute. Y'all gonna try to get better? Yeah, we're gonna try to get better. He go all this money. He go this record breaking money. Now the team still sucks. They don't look like they're gonna be any good over the next couple of years. But he's got all this money and will have stats, but won't have any wins or nothing else. It'd be like,
boy, I'm telling you, Michael Parsons should not be making more money than him. He need to have that Larry Bird contract to where I don't even have to deal with my contract anymore. I will be the highest paid. I will at least be the third highest paid player in the league, regardless of what anybody else gets.
Yeah.
My contract just adjusts. That young man, boy. If you've never, and I hope he played. I hope he does go for those records, and the go for the single season sack record, and he how do I want to say this? And he clicks into that mode. So when you do get an opportunity to see him, because I will say this, the phenomenon of Shedeur Sanders will put them on TV. So you will get an opportunity to see it. And it should be the phenomenon of Myles Garrett. But that is something to witness, man. If you've never seen it, this man had Lamar Jackson standing still. Yeah. I don't have anywhere to go. People use it on clothes on Lamar.
Yeah, it was one of those things where how when you're playing Madden and you're playing somebody and all of a sudden they got some players like, wait a minute, I tried to do. How is he able to do that? What you doing? You playing on pro level and I'm on medium.
Yeah.
He's just that freakish of an athlete, and I think what's not talked about enough, and what people don't see also because the team just sucks, is his football intelligence. You don't do all of what he's doing without having a football intelligence.
You gotta have some football intelligence, right.
He's got moves. He takes angles. He doesn't keep coming with the same one or two rushes. You can see him bull rush. You can see him finesse. You can see him squat. You can see him swim. You can see him spin. You can see him darting, taking the outside and then coming back inside, or vice versa. He does some everything. So yeah, it's just a shame that him being that great is gonna be, looks like it's gonna amount for nothing for the rest of his career.
Man, and I'm telling you, I know we do this a lot on No Jazz, so just bear with us. But I know the offensive linemen, when they come up on him, you remember Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and they wrecked Jefferson's car.
Yeah, that's not good. That wasn't pretty.
Ooh, I know. Hey, that offensive lineman hand was like,
yeah,
that's a wrecking machine.
Yeah, they may make offensive linemen cry.
He's something serious. Now, on to as we get into this final lap. I just want to ask you, man, because we will or we won't, because I don't have one. Mm-hmm. I was lazy this week, but do you have a twin?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who it was now.
If you don't have a twin, we'll just go through.
Yeah, I had one, but I can't remember who it was, because I had a couple that I was narrowing down, but I've drawn a blank who they were.
It was that type of football weekend, and I do understand. Yeah. For those of you who do not know, it was this week's Impact Notable, and you just look for our Impact Notable on as they come up on TikTok and Instagram, because we do post them when they come up. Nevertheless, now I did want to ask this question because we were talking about Myles Garrett, and he is on his way, and I kind of hope he does, because I like to see records broken.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about a one-season phenomenon. This young man has been doing this since he got in. He's just, like we said, he's on an unfortunate team. But I just want to ask you, First 5 seasons of their career history. First 5 seasons. Who do you have as having the best first 5 seasons ever?
In history or present?
Uh,
Or you want both?
you know what? No. If you want to say, oh, but such and such, but we're gonna do current. We're gonna do current.
Okay.
I already know who mine.
Yeah. My current, I got on the colors that he wears, Justin Jefferson. I mean, the numbers he's putting, he's in his this is his 6th season, but this man has over 8,000 yards as a receiver. And you've seen what his quarterbacks have been. This man's got over 8,000 yards, 40-something touchdowns, and is a deep threat and it does see double coverage. I think for what we see right now, for 5 years, I'm not going. Well, this guy's been in the league 8 years, and you look at what he's doing. No, I'm looking at just those first 5 years. I think Justin Jefferson has. He's got my vote.
He got your vote, and I want to say something else about that because he actually is one of those ones that he's in a quiet market, and if I'm not mistaken, has he had the same quarterback 2 years straight?
Let's see. No, I don't think he had.
That's phenomenal.
No, I think he had Kirk. I think he had Kirk Cousins.
Oh yeah, Kirk Cousins at least 2 years straight.
Yeah.
That right there is that's something to say about Mr. Justin Jefferson. So I will agree with you on that one as far as current players are concerned. People would really like slap me if I don't mention this dude, but he goes without saying, and he's too obvious. So we're gonna just put him over him, and that's Patrick Mahomes. We're gonna put him over him because he's not mine, but I'm gonna put him over him because he deserves to be mentioned. I just feel like we know that.
Yeah, and also receiver is such a symbiotic position that if you have got to rely on somebody getting you the ball, otherwise you don't exist. At quarterback, at least you have the ball and you can do stuff with it.
And you can do stuff with it.
Yeah.
Which is why my answer for that is Mike Evans in Tampa Bay. Quiet market, was with the gunslinger's gunslinger. But we know the 1,000-yard seasons. You know, we know the record that, and I'm saying that because he's injured now, and it looks like the streak is about to end.
Yeah.
And he won't be catching or surpassing. Would he have tied him this year or passed him?
He would. I think this was the year for him to pass him.
He would have passed Jerry Rice, and Jerry Rice would have been. See, this is why I don't do history, because there's a lot of people had some good first 5 years. But I'm going with Mike Evans on my first 5 seasons as the greatest current players. I'm going to give him his props because it's unfortunate from a record standpoint, he won't be able to, but his name will be right up there with him. He won't be able to, something phenomenal has to happen, but he won't be able to get past Jerry Rice is surpassing him for the most 1,000-yard seasons. And let's not forget the young man also added a ring to it. So
Yeah.
He will probably be, if I'm not mistaken. No, he won't be. He won't be the first. Well, I don't. Wait a minute. Is Paul Gruber a Hall of Famer?
No, Gruber's not in.
Gruber's not in. So he will be the second. No, I don't say he was the second because I think they got Tom up there and they got a few offensive players up there. But he probably will be the first offensive Buccaneer in the NFL Hall of Fame. I'm gonna put him.
Homegrown Buck. Yeah, he'll be the first
Homegrown
homegrown Buck. Yeah.
Hall of Fame. So shout out to Mike on that. I just wanted to give him his props. When I saw that question come up from the production team, I instantly went to Mike, and I'm gonna give him that.
Yeah, because I just stuck with mine for guys that played 5 years, because there's other guys, like you said, who would have better if you took in their whole thing. But mine,
I was looking at his first
kept it that. Yeah.
Right. I know you were looking at. He's been in the league 5 years.
Yeah.
Right. And also, I think what you've been doing, because I've noticed, you have a theme going, man. You're wearing purple, and if I'm not mistaken, that's Justin Jefferson. You gave props to. Justin Jefferson also went to LSU, and they wear purple. Somebody else you gave props to wearing the purple. It was early in the segment, but I think subliminally you're trying to tell us a story. With your purple on. Now, I did want to ask you this question, because right now we're about to do what a lot of people don't know we do, and we do this a lot. We're gonna hit the refresh button since we're on the theme of the first 5 seasons. I want to ask you, and we're gonna go to Hollywood. All time.
Okay.
Who had the greatest run of the first 5 movies of their career?
All right, now, for those in the chat and for those who are going to be watching later, we're talking first 5 movies that they were in, because there's some people who you're going to throw out there, but their first 5 movies weren't done. Your first 5 movies of theatrical releases, and you were in it, even if it was just a minor role, not first 5 movies that you starred in. You want me to give you a list of who I had before I give you my number 1? Well, because
I don't have a list, but I got some people I'm gonna mention.
Okay.
You go ahead.
All right. I got a list of those who made my list. And
hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Before you do your list, do your list afterwards, because you're gonna end up mentioning. I know you're gonna mention my guy if you do your list. Then we're gonna do the list after that. So as we hit this refresh, this is our hit refresh segment. We off the sports a little bit. We are naming our number 1 actor or actress had the best first 5 movie run of their career. Go for it, Tank.
Yeah. All right. It was difficult, but when I started looking at different people, and I was saying, okay, what genre am I going to look at, or am I going to look at Black Hollywood, or am I going to look at Hollywood in general? And I looked at both, and for me, your 5 movies, at least 4 of them needed to be hits. 4 of them needed to be readily recognizable. Even if they weren't hits, they had to be readily recognizable, not where you're scratching. Oh, I didn't know that. So my person, my actor, my actress with the top 5.
It's an actress?
Yeah.
Okay.
Top 5. Because remember, not just movies, not necessarily movies that were hits, but they're readily recognizable. And you say, yeah,
Absolutely.
that was a good movie. Yeah, because every movie is not a hit. My actress, and people are gonna be like, wait a minute, we talking about movies. We're not talking about that person is being the greatest in their field.
We're just talking about the movies that they played in.
Yeah.
See, yeah. But before you say that, I noticed you all in the chat. We do a lot of explaining. This is the era of social media, and it's almost like we have to give disclaimers because people be getting upset. Oh, you should have said, man.
Yeah, or you didn't see so and so. You didn't say so and so. How could you leave them out?
So calm down.
And that person doesn't even fit the criteria.
and they probably was born after the first 5 movies, and they don't remember. You know, they judging them from when they judging them from when LL was on the love song era, and they don't remember LL. You know, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
So mine. Well, I'm gonna give an actor and an actress. My actor, Cuba Gooding Jr.
Ooh. For real?
Man, you crazy. How the hell? Cuba, man, I can't. These are the movies he was in. I remember 4 of those 5. Coming to America, that was his first movie. He was getting his hair cut in the barbershop.
That was a sneaky one.
Yeah. Sing.
But I remember that.
Which came out in 89. Breakout Role, Boys in the Hood. Followed up by Gladiator. Followed up by, I think, his first or second best movie. But he wasn't a star. But he had a part. A Few Good Men. All of those, 4 of those are readily recognizable. But again, he didn't have to star in. They don't have to star in the movie. They had to be in the movie, because when you're getting started, for the most part, you don't have a starring role anyway. Now, my actress, and this was hard, but we're gonna go through the other list, after, so you'll see why it was hard. My actress, Jada Pinkett. Man, you out your damn mind. You got to have an entanglement with her or something. Jada, what the hell has she done? What has she done besides Girls Trip and Collateral? Her first movie, Menace to Society. Her second movie, The Inkwell. Third movie, Jason's Lyric. Fourth movie, Low Down Dirty Shame. Fifth movie, Nutty Professor. Those are all readily recognizable, and she starred in all of those. That's the thing about it. Her first 5 movies she starred in. She's the main character. And again, we aren't saying these are the best 5 movies ever made. But I'm saying, as far as starting out, and you start off with readily recognizable and hits, and you're starring, that's strong to start off with that. And anybody within 15 years of our age has seen all of those movies. And you've probably seen them multiple times. And these are, with the exception of Nutty Professor, the rest of them are what you would call hood classics.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. Shout out to Jada, right? But hey, man, 2 of those movies. No. I don't know. I gotta go back and watch it. But I know 2 of those movies, she was playing an older woman messing with some younger dudes.
Hey, but the movie was good. You like the movies. I mean, and you've seen all of them multiple times.
I've seen all of them multiple times. I'm gonna let y'all figure out what the movies were, but she was wrong. She was wrong.
Yeah.
Like if you I wasn't that young when Inkwell came out,
Yeah.
and she had on them big white drawers, but that was so wrong what she did to my boy. Boy, that was wrong what she did to him. I hadn't
But as
felt
a
that type of pain since old girl did that to my boy in the Last American Virgin. Like I believe
yeah,
that's where they got that from, but man,
yeah.
that bothered my soul. That
Hey,
bothered my
well, I was looking at it from a different standpoint. Being his age and having that experience. Oh yeah, hey, I'm gonna get over it because I enjoyed myself.
I feel you though. I feel you though. But hey, I don't know which one was worse. Him looking in that window or my boy walking in that kitchen. Woo, boy. Anybody my age know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Woo, she did my man wrong. But anyway, I am going to go with someone we know. And the reason I chose him over
I
this
think I
other
know
guy,
who you're going with too.
the reason I chose him over this other guy is because we all really need to go watch an incredible Netflix documentary on this man. This is one of them ones. And is it called Being Eddie Murphy?
Being Eddie Murphy.
Being Eddie Murphy. And especially the part where he talks about missing Charlie.
Yeah.
That's gonna get you. So I just want to say you already know my one is Eddie Murphy, and I'm doing that because I really need to give and pay homage to the fact that please, if you have Netflix or if you know someone that has Netflix, and we all do, go watch Being Eddie Murphy. Go watch The Roof Open Up on Their House. Go watch The Family Man. That's a bad boy. Now, Eddie Murphy. First 5 films, baby. We all know.
I almost had them on up, but there was one that I was like, it was just so bad I just couldn't do it. But go ahead.
Okay. But he was so he was so, and I know what the bad one is, right? But he was so hot
Yeah.
till that was just one of them movies where it was like, you Eddie, you'll be all right. But the first 5 movies is, I don't know. Hold on. The first 5 movies is 48 Hours, followed by, it's crazy, followed by Trading Places, followed by Beverly Hills Cop. I can stop right there. But this is why people felt like we could throw a tam on Eddie and have him like a dragon woman and go. And the funniest part of the movie is, well, 2 funniest part is I got the knife, and you just gonna wipe that booger on you. You just gonna wipe that booger on your coat. Golden Child wasn't that bad. But anyway, the script was already written for Beverly Hills Cop 2. First 5. And to be honest with you, I forgot.
You're not including Raw?
Raw, no. Actually, what I'm not including is Delirious.
Delirious, yeah.
See, Delirious would have made Golden Child the last one.
Yeah, last one, yeah. If you go with Delirious,
you go with Delirious, Golden
yeah,
Child gonna come up on
then he
number 5
wins.
and you gonna get Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Yeah, he wins. He wins if you go with Delirious first.
Right.
But it wasn't released in the theaters. That's why.
And that's probably what it was. It was VHS back then.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get filmed. He didn't get filmed stand up, and that's historical. You got to remember that.
Yeah.
He didn't get filmed stand up until you get the Raw. And of course, you want to go down the line after Raw was coming to America, and then he kind of fall. It's a classic, but it's from a tier standpoint. Harlem Nights and Golden Child kind of.
Yeah. They.
And then we know what's going on down the line. But my first 5 and my main man first 5 coming out that gate. Eddie Murphy, man, and he one of them charm. He one of them charm ones like Magic Johnson. But go ahead and because I'm gonna hold up a finger when you say some things. I already know 2 you're gonna say. I know 2 you're gonna say. And
okay.
Shout out to all the ladies. Shout out to all the ladies, because I don't have an actress, and I do apologize for that.
All right, I'll go over the others who are on my list real quick. One was Tupac. First 5 movies. Hey, Juice, Poetic Justice, Above the Rim, Bullet, and Gridlocked.
See, that's what
I think
5 on that one kind of.
I get it because his first 3 was so strong. Thought they kind of, so I give him an honorable mention.
Yeah.
Now
I know the Tupac people tripping. Don't trip. The music was straight. Should did his first 5 albums.
Yeah. Now, as far as the actresses, I got 2.
That was
Halle
the only
Berry.
one?
Well, I got one, but this is old school, and this is for people who
go
have
ahead.
to go back and research.
All right,
Halle Berry, Jungle Fever, Strictly Business, Last Boy Scout. We've mentioned Last Boy Scout a few times recently.
We mentioned that exactly.
Boomerang and CB4, which is an underrated classic.
CB4, underrated hood classic.
Yeah. And the other actress, and people don't even think about her, Whoopi Goldberg, came out the box with Color Purple.
Out the box.
Followed it up with Burglar, which some people, but I told you just need to have 4, ideally 4. But Burglar wasn't horrible. It just wasn't. It wasn't Color Purple. Then she came back with Ghost. Followed that up with Sister Act, and rounding out those top 5 for her was The Player, which is the one of those 5 that I'm like, that she got a good 4, but that 4 because it's hard to have 5 good ones coming right out. But if you got 4 of those 5, and my next one, this is old school. Some y'all have heard these, but you probably ain't never watched none of them unless you were watching with your grandfather. Clint Eastwood, Fistful of Dollars, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. What was that? For a Few Dollars More, Hang 'em High, and Coogan's Bluff.
You tripping, but I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. Now, for the people who gonna be mad at Tank, let me help. Let me help. Because y'all can tell we kind of grew up. We grew up in. We went to desegregated high schools where everything ain't hood classic. But I will say this, because this is some top notch stuff till you get to the 5th one, and it actually was kind of funny. Martin Lawrence, and Martin Lawrence came out the gate with House Party. Then he hit you again with Boomerang. Then he hit you with Bad Boys 1. Then he hit you with a hood classic, but a little bit more than a hood classic. I'm giving his props a little bit more than that. He hit you with a Thin Line Between Love and Hate, which kind of was his first starring role.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he then became the Martin where you saw him start to transition into all the characters that he played on the Martin show. With Nothing to Lose. So that was his first 5 out the gate. Now, this is my dog right here. Again, we grew up in them desegregated schools. Because I know y'all gonna be like, I know you ain't not about to say Denzel or Samuel. No, I'm not.
Oh, nope.
No, I'm not. Because I grew up in them. I went to school in them desegregated schools. So it's what it is. But I was a fan, man. Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I thought about Tom, but I said he's some of those other ones. This other because we're looking at anything he was in, so that's what bumped. That's what kept him from getting there for me.
I'm gonna tell y'all something, boy. His first one was Endless Love. If you didn't see Endless Love, Trapped on the Island, Adam and Eve type adolescence.
Yeah, Blue Lagoon knockoff, yeah.
The Blue Lagoon knockoff. You know what I'm saying? He you know, kind of that thing.
Yeah.
Endless Love was pretty good. Then probably Old Yeller made me cry early. What's your name made me cry? When Coach Chief died.
Coach Chief, yeah. Cooler High.
Cooler High made me cry. But the end of Taps.
Yeah.
Taps was
yeah. Endless Love kept me from naming them.
Yeah, Taps was one of them ones for me growing up. You know, shout out to HBO and Showtime.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that made me cry. Outsiders. Boy, hey. What
Yeah.
Danny Boy, Eddie Boy.
Yeah, I barely remember the plot to it, but I remember seeing it.
Ain't gonna be no rumble.
Ain't gonna be
no rumble without me.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that was the one. It did kind of got shaky, but it was all right. All the Right Moves.
I love all the right moves.
All the right moves. All the right moves in that 80s era was
that I love that. I watched that in order to watch that today. That's for me is when I started saying, okay, here's Tom. That's for me when it's top 5 started.
Right.
Okay.
All the right moves.
I know.
If his top 5 started right there.
Oh, he got everything. He wins everything.
He started going because Legend actually round out the 5 and it keep Top Gun out of the top 5. But after Top Gun, boy, you got Color of Money, Cocktail, Rain Man, Born on the 4th of July.
Wait a minute, you left one out that comes before Risky Business.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
Risky Business before All the Right Move. Risky Business.
Yeah.
I thought I mentioned. Yeah. Everybody remember.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Take those over.
They need to remake Risky Business today? Because
they would. I don't think it would have the same pop. They
man, this
would.
man
They.
would
I
have a
think they were.
digital
I think they were.
OnlyFans. He'd have a digital
Yeah. Yeah.
OnlyFans.
Yeah. It would. It would. Yeah. It would go to. It would go left though. It wouldn't do because Risky Business had
Risky Business, boy.
everything. Yeah. And all that, and what he did to get there was part of, and it was pivotal. But why he was doing it, as opposed to if they did it now,
If they did it now, because ain't nobody trying to get to no Ivy League school.
Yeah. If they did it now, it'd be like Porky's on steroids.
Yeah, that's true too. Shout out to Porky's, very good movie. But very good series. But and catching the crystal football, and it still had a crack in it, man.
Yeah.
That was boy, Risky Business was that one, boy. Like go back and watch these films, man. I'm giving Tom Cruise his props.
Yeah.
And that was it for me. It was either Tom or Eddie, and I gave it to Eddie, you know, for those reasons. But I'm gonna shoot it. I'm gonna shoot it to Eddie.
Yeah. Quick thing about Tom Cruise and Risky Business. That was the opening monologue from Risky Business. That's what I performed for my audition to get into North Carolina School of the Arts after my senior year.
Did you have a Leisure Curl?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's a Carefree Curl, man. You got to get it right. That's Leisure Curl is a whole different bottle.
Well, you said it was a dry.
Yeah, but it was a Carefree Curl.
I thought the Carefree Curl was the wet look.
It was real wet. Yeah, it was the Coming to America.
You had the Soul Glow.
Yeah,
you had the Soul Glow. Yeah, you was
yeah.
You was tripping.
But yeah, I performed it. Yeah, I performed that for them.
Did you make it?
They told me to come back in a year. By then,
come back with a Leisure Curl. That's really what it was. Yeah. You came back with a Leisure Curl. Shout out to the Leisure Curl, because that's what Prime had. Prime had a Leisure Curl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hold on. I got a question since we talking about the Jerry. Did you go to the salon or did you get out the box?
Oh man, I went and got mine done at what they called back then the beauty shop. I wasn't doing that. I had the rollers and everything.
$35. You paid them $35?
$65.
Oh.
Yeah. I got the real thing. Yeah, it was $65 back then, and I was making $3.35 an hour. So I had to work 20 hours just to afford to get my hair done.
You're right, $65. Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
You're right, $65. It went down to $35 once everybody learned how to do it. You're right, it was $65.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my auntie Cheryl, who had a birthday this week. Shout out to my auntie Val, who had a birthday this week. But I'm mentioning my auntie Cheryl because my auntie Cheryl was the first one. And Mr. Young, Kim, Fred, all y'all, what's up? Y'all were the first one taught me the word tonsorial.
I guarantee that's the first time in the history of sports that tonsorial ever brought in.
Tonsorial has never came up, boy. Hey, I mean, and it's one thing, you can have a beauty salon and a beauty shop, but when you do tonsorial arts, woo!
Yeah,
shout out to my sister Kim. Shout out to my sister Kim Young, Cuzzo Kim Young, and Pool Table. Best pearls I ever seen, and Stoney Jackson. Them the best. Hey, them top Jerry curls. I can't even lie, boy. You know what? My girl.
Ola Ray.
Come on now. Everybody know who had them Jerry curls. That was them things. Everybody know who had them Jerry curls. That was them things. I'm not gonna do the said entertainer joke and say whose wasn't quite right. But we all know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But everybody know. Everybody know who had them things, boy. Ola, Stony, and Pool Table. I ain't gonna say a real name. What's the name of my cousin Kim? Them things. Mm-hmm. They should have been on the billboard on the box, boy. Them things that was them things.
Destroyed a lot of collars and a lot of pillowcases.
Whoa. Like I'm telling you, man, my boy coming to America, since we talking about Eddie Murphy movies, my boy coming to America curl ain't have nothing. Nothing on Stony and Pool Table, boy. Mm-hmm. Woo! Everybody know, boy. Everybody know, boy. Who had the best curl in your neighborhood?
My boy Tim Thompson probably had the best one. He inspired me to get one. He had the big curls. He had the big shiny ones. That was kind of reminiscent of a better version of Lionel Richie's.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you something, and this wouldn't be not just another sports show if we didn't say this, and we're gonna close out. And you don't even have to say history because the hairdo don't even exist no more. Mm. Best curls in the NFL.
Eric Dickerson.
Hands down. Hands down. I'm sorry, Brian. I'm sorry, Brian.
Eric Dickerson.
Eric Dickerson, bro. Eric Dickerson put the headband in the curl with ooh.
Mm-hmm. And he had to wear the goggles for two reasons. One, because he was blind. Two, to keep the juice from it coming in his eyes.
Man, hey, Eric would have hurt the NFL, boy, if he'd scored a touchdown, took the helmet off, and sprayed it right quick, boy. Hey.
Shout out, Eric. We love you, baby.
That would have been it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't realize how he got them 2,000 yards. The juice was dripping down the jersey, and you really couldn't grab it.
Hey, you got to get it correct because he said he gonna tell you no. It wasn't the 2,000. It was 2105.
Oh my bad. It was 2105. You absolutely right. But at any rate, this has been not just another sports show, but I guess we done said enough for the last words, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, Eric, if you see me, you do remember this face because I'm gonna say this too. I knew that was a Gucci leather jacket you had on. That was my friend saying the leather jacket was from the Burleson Coat Factory. Straight up. That was my friend. I had nothing to do with that. I knew that was good. But at any rate, this has been not just another sports show. The No Jazz Show. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. You can find us on Facebook at NOJASSSHOW, on Twitter or X at NOJASSHOW, on Instagram at THE No Jazz Show, on TikTok at NOJASSSHOW No Jazz Show. It's been fun. Tank, if you can have some time to dang, we might have to do best hairdos in the NFL ever. But we might have to do that. But at this point, man, you go ahead and you salute these people, my guy.
Thanks for hanging out with us, people.
Thank you for hanging out. No Jazz Show. We are out of here.